Good evening. Welcome to the Arts Commission meeting of Thursday, April 4th, 2024. Now call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock exactly. Due to technical difficulties, tonight's Arts Commission will not be available via YouTube. It will be available as usual on CMTV Channel 3 via Zoom or on the city website www.costamesa.gov. On the website, click the yellow Watch CMTV Live button to view the meeting. And sorry for any inconvenience. We would like to begin with a Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to ask Commissioner Allison Mann if you would please lead us in the pledge. Next order of business is roll call. Ms. Fatua?
Yes. Commissioner Mann,
Here.
Commissioner Lucia, Commissioner Ashendorf,
Present.
Commissioner Ochoa,
Present.
Commissioner Durdarian, Vice Chair Zuckerman,
Present.
Chair Wonderchuk.
Present.
We have quorum.
Next, we're going to open to public comments. Are there any public comments? Oh, let me back up and I'm going to let you have a comment. Okay. Each member of the public will be given a total of 3 minutes to speak. And then first we will take comments from those in the council chambers, then those not on Zoom because we said no Zoom today, correct? Okay, so we'll only have one time period for each group and there will be no going back and forth. So members of the public in the chambers, now is the time to speak and please line up on either side of the aisle. On items not on the agenda. Thank you.
I just want to clarify, if anyone is here this evening for arts grants, which is an item that is on the agenda, there will be another point in the meeting to speak to that. I just want to reiterate that. So this is for items not on the agenda.
Okay, so once again, for items not on the agenda, is there anyone who would like to have a public comment at this point in time? Okay, public comments are now closed. Commissioners, if you have any questions or comments for staff or anything pertaining to agenda items, please add your name in the queue.
We discuss things. Are we doing commissioner comments at this time?
We're doing commissioner comments at this time.
I just want to say I'm honored and privileged to serve as one of the jurors for the Newport Mesa Unified School District's upcoming Senior Art Show. It's showcasing the talents of the seniors from all the comprehensive high schools. And this event will take place at the Norma Herzog Community Center on Monday, April 22nd from 4:30 to 7 p.m. I encourage the public and my fellow commissioners to attend this event. It presents a wonderful opportunity to celebrate the creativity and the achievements of young artists. I'll distribute the flyer to Laurette so that can get circulated. Thank you.
Madam Chair? Thank you. Just a couple comments. First of all, it's April, and you know what that means? It's National Poetry Month. And we're really excited about that here because we have the open call for poet laureates in the city, our first ever. So if you know anyone in the audience or at home who is an established poet, now is the time to submit your application to be our inaugural poet laureate. Also, I'd like to recognize the staff through the Parks and Community Services Department. our new director should take note how quickly our staff can pivot during rain for pirates dancing on the lawn and moving into the Recreation Center in Norma Herzog. I understand it was a terrific event, so congratulations for that event. And also, tickets are now available for the Costa Mesa Playhouse presentation of art, and that runs this weekend through April 20th. So hope you'll join me and purchase your tickets. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you very much. Any other commissioners? Oh, Commissioner Zucker.
Thank you. So I want to apologize for missing the last meeting and wanted to just highlight the work that is clear was done on the different policies and procedures that are being put in place, and to just underscore how important I think the work of this commission is in supporting the efforts for Costa Mesa to really build a foundation of how to have public art in private land and public art in public land, and how we build a collection. And it's just really important work, and I think it's important to underscore that. I'm also really glad that the poet laureate was mentioned, and I am thinking about how we can let people know that we have this opportunity and to come up with innovative ways to make sure that we get to the people that would be able to apply and really serve in this role. It's something that I'm particularly interested in. I think it's really important. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, next order of business is old business, and we would like to look at the minutes. Are there any comments from the commission or a commissioner who would like to entertain a motion after looking over the minutes? Anyone would like to approve that?
Madam Chair, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes from March 7th, 2024 Commission.
Excellent.
I second that.
Thank you.
You may vote on your dice. Motion carries 5-0 to approve the March 7, 2024 Arts Commission minutes.
Thank you. Next order of business is old business, and that's the approval of the utility box art program.
If commissioners move their item to their presentation screen to see the staff presentation.
So we're bringing this design from Segerstrom Center for the Arts back. This is the first box from last meeting was approved, and this is the second box redesign. So on the top there is the old one from last month, and then the bottom two are the new proposals that they mocked up on the utility boxes.
Where are you seeing different? Yeah. I saw something different.
I think the difference is the image of Henry Segerstrom has been replaced by the Henry Moore sculpture. Is that correct?
That is correct. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know if it's showing up. Yeah, the one on the top left is the old one, and then the two mock-up on the boxes is the new design with the Henry Moore sculpture instead. Yeah.
So having been absent at the last meeting, but yet reading the minutes, is the idea that these still look like advertisements?
Yes. These still look like advertisements to me.
That's up for discussion.
Oh, sorry.
You're welcome to.
I'm too opinionated. Okay.
No,
Turn the mic off.
you're allowed.
But that's the kind of continuing conversation here, right? And then the only change is the subbing out of the photo of Henry Segerstrom with the image of the Henry Moore. Okay.
Correct.
So at this point, are we voting on this once again for approval, or let's take comments now from the commission?
I guess I know this is done by their in-house graphic designer, so I think the orientation is a little different than, enlisting an artist to design a utility box. Perhaps if there is an aesthetic requirement or guideline, it could be made clear in the handbook. And I reviewed the handbook and I didn't see any such requirements. That would be my only comment.
I like the change that they made, and I think because the Segerstrom Center is so artistic and architectural and has all of those elements, when I look at the building, it doesn't look as much of an advertisement to me as the previous ones did. I think since also it's a sponsorship box, correct, that they pay for. I would think that that's fine. I mean, the OC Fair, when they do theirs, are more artsy, but I know I found them to be a little like an advertisement as well, but not quite. I think it looks good. That's just my opinion.
So I would like to ask Commissioner Mann, when it comes to this artwork, you had mentioned that there's no clear guidelines in our. Oh, Ochoa. So sorry. Man just spoke. Ochoa. Yeah, Commissioner Ochoa, you had mentioned that you didn't see any clear guidelines written in the box, the pamphlet, or just the rules or how we're supposed to design that in there?
Yeah, I guess just to clarify, there are no specific aesthetic guidelines for
Aesthetic guidelines.
either the boxes, the sponsored or non-sponsored boxes. I think there is just a general goal that envision that we have as a city, but nothing specific. And I think because it is a nature of the sponsorship box, I'm more inclined to approve the design.
Okay. Any other comments?
I would just concur. I think it was a move in the right direction. We're not featuring the founder. We're actually featuring art, moving the sculpture there is very important, but also keeping all of the movement and the activity that occur around the Segerstrom Center for the Arts is pretty clear there. So I don't have any issue with making a motion to approve this revised sponsorship box.
Okay. So it seems like the staff recommends that the Art Commission, we approve the redesign at this point in time, and it seems like we're all in agreement for the approval. I would like to make a note, and this might be something separate that we can discuss, that we do have an aesthetic guideline placed into just the guidelines in general regarding the utility box, just not right now, but we will go ahead. And would someone like to motion to approve this?
I so move.
Do you still have more to share?
I think that we've gone back and forth a couple of times, so I'm fine also taking the staff recommendation, and I do think, as I was kind of indicating earlier, that we're in a development phase, right? And so we're in a learning phase, and I do think that it's important to figure out what the purpose of the boxes is, and whether they are intended as advertisements, even if someone's sponsoring them. And so that might be something for another agenda, because we don't want to move the goalposts on people, and I think we do have a learning opportunity from this.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Zuckerman. I can definitely bring the guidelines back. They were brought to commission, I think, early, in the commission's lifespan.
Right.
So I'm happy to bring those back if you want to, because I know we've done some other things with the permanent public art and some of those criteria. And so maybe now that work has been done, I'd be happy to bring back the handbook and have you all look at that again if you'd like.
Yeah, actually, because we had the one other box that we felt maybe had some graphics that we weren't comfortable with having out in the public. And, again, just so people understand what the parameters are and the values and the intention of the project.
Any other questions or comments from the commission before we open it to the public?
I'll second the motion, just so it's done.
Okay. Oh, guess we're.
Chair Ashendorf?
Would you like me to restate the motion, or are you good with that, Ms. Patua?
Go ahead and vote.
Thank
It's
you.
fine. All right. Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. The next order of business is also old business, and it's the public art donation policy.
Thank you, Chair Wonderchuck. So for this item, we went over this at our last meeting, and there were some comments from commissioners. So I just wanted to address the changes on the document that was in the agenda. I highlighted all the areas that I changed based on the comments from the last meeting. So for page 1, I changed the definition for aesthetic. I took out the word social, so it was more focused on arts and history, which I think makes sense. Page 2 was a criteria for permanent public art on public property. So I attached to the agenda that previous document that we've gone over with the criteria for permanent public art. And donations, I think, would fall under the same criteria for this. So I just wanted to clarify that piece. And also on page 2, I inserted a valuation number as requested by Commissioner Ochoa. So a limit of $50,000 for any public art sculpture that would be accepted. Page 3, I defined more clearly what an equitable collection inventory means. So I just added in some language there, which we could definitely discuss. And then for page 3, I added in some clarity on the attachments required for the application. Page 4 and 5 addressed questions surrounding the retention and treatment of individual works of art. Page 7 was highlighting the collaborator fabricator option on the application. And then page 10, I added in more clarity about the valuation of accepted artworks and pieced out some general guidelines surrounding tax deductions for donations to local government from the irs.gov website. And then I also specified documents that would be needed to assess the value of each artwork and the condition it might be at the time it's donated. And then I think those were all the changes based on comments from last meeting. So welcome to discuss.
Okay, are there any questions from the commission?
Right. Ms. Garner, I want to thank you for making sure that all the comments were incorporated, but I think we missed you last month, Commissioner Zuckerman, and I know this is probably lands in your territory, so I'd really like to hear your comments at this point.
Thank you. I read with interest the minutes from the last meeting and also the agenda report and also the public art donation policy. I'm often the one that brings up budget questions, and I just would like to share a little bit maybe of shared experience. And I think that I'll just say, for example, the collection of the Orange County Museum of Art, we reject or don't accept, however you want to phrase that, about 80% of the works that were offered. So that's an important kind of data point. We also, our collection of 4,500 objects, 75% of them have come into the collection as gifts. Okay? So people are very generous in their wishes to donate works of art, and people donate works for all sorts of purposes. Tax deduction is a big one. Another one is because they no longer have space or need, and oftentimes the works that are donated are not A works. They're maybe C or D works, and they may even be, A artists, but, C or D works. So it's, I think, really important that there's a system in place that evaluates the artwork. And so that's kind of my main comment. I think that your document includes probably everything that I would want to see. And again, it's once it becomes a living, breathing document, and we then use it to accept or reject the objects that are being offered, then we might notice that we might need a revision or whatnot. So I would just add that I would motion to approve the document as is, with the goal and intention that as we start to use it, we may need to make some revisions.
Any other commissioners?
Thank you, Ms. Gardner, for the new draft. I appreciate your work and inclusion of everyone's input. I have no issue with item G, the word equitable. I think equity is about fairness. And I'm glad to see that stated in the document.
Okay. So let's open this to any members of the public who wish to speak on this item. Public comments are now closed. Do we have a motion for this public art donation policy?
I so move that we approve the public art donation policy as currently stated.
And Commissioner Ochoa has seconded that. Thank you. Let's vote. Okay. Next order of business.
We have two more pending for vote.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Motion carries 5-0 to approve the public art donation policy.
Thank you. Next order of business is new business, and it's the approval of arts grants for the fiscal year 23-24.
Thank you, Chair Wondercheck. So the arts grant approval. This year we had review panelists for the arts grant panel review. We had Commissioner Mann serve and Commissioner Lucia. We also had Scott Fitzpatrick from the Orange County Department of Education, who's the arts coordinator, and then Tram Lee, who's the arts and culture specialist from the city of Santa Ana. So that was our full review panel. They went through all the applications and they scored them. And this funding plan that was supplied in the agenda is the result. So the funding is based on the scores that they received.
Excellent. Are there any questions from the commission?
I have a question. How many applications did we receive?
We received 6, and 1 did not qualify.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any other members here from the commission that have questions before we go to public comments? No? Okay, are there any members of the public who would wish to speak on this item? And again, you can either be on either side. It's on me. Where is it? Oh, here.
Okay. Hi, Costa Mesa Arts Commission. My name is Sean Weehan, and I am a resident, and I work here in Costa Mesa. I've been a resident and homeowner for about 1.5 years, and it's great to be in this city. And it's nice to meet all of you, and I actually know Deborah, so good to see you, Deborah. I am also the founder and promoter of Songs in the Canyon, and I'm the chairman of the Giftsome Foundation, which is the nonprofit that is putting on the event. Songs in the Canyon is a community picnic at Canyon Park This year, it's slated to take place on May 19th from about 1 to 7:30 p.m. in the evening. The event includes original music from local artists, Violet Rain, the Tonemen, Victoria Bailey, and Scarlett Bloom. Tonemen is with us here tonight, and they'll be talking about another project that they have. It's a mix with the bands of jazz, bluegrass, country, and a Grateful Dead-style jam band. But there will also be local artists there from Location 1980 who will be displaying their paintings of the park, as well as local artists putting on various small art installations throughout the park for neighbors to admire. The event will also bring in a vendor called Soul Market, who will be curating local artisans who have handcrafted jewelry and clothing and other handcrafted items. And the atmosphere for the event is family-oriented. It's a fun Sunday casual event with food trucks and organized with games and prizes for kids during the breaks and the music. And the inaugural Songs in the Canyon took place last September. The permit was approved by the city. We had a good number of people, several hundred people showed up, and City Council member Arliss Reynolds showed up and loved it. And she wants to see more of them, and she was the one that told me about you guys and the grant. So I applied. Now, the challenge of doing an event like this in Canyon Park is that there is no electricity, there's no restrooms, there's no water. So you have to bring all that in. And when you add up the expense just on that, it's about $3,000. Plus, you got to get the permit. There's an expense to that. So this grant will offset a good amount of that. And that's not including all the other just general expenses that'll be a part of the event. Now, when considering scoring, it's an event that's open to the public. It's family friendly. It's a time for kids to learn about new local music, original music. Oh, out of time. Thanks for considering us.
You have 30 seconds left. You have 30 seconds.
Oh, I have 30 seconds. Oh, good. Finished my point. It's a chance for the kids to have fun and see all the different art. It subsidizes the ability to continue to grow the event. City Council member Arliss Reynolds wants to see it more than just one time. She'd like to see it in her region that she oversees several times over the coming years. So this helps subsidize this, and it's a new innovative idea under one.
Thank you, Sean. We appreciate that. Other public comments? So Nancy,
Not yet.
there you go.
Good evening, Arts Commissioners, Vice Chair Zuckerman, Chair Wonderchuk. I'm Nancy Warzer-Brady. I'm the Director of Education and Community Engagement for Backhouse Dance. And with me is Jennifer Backhouse. She's the founder and artistic director of Backhouse Dance. And it's so nice to see all of you. Thank you for your careful review of our proposal, which was Movement Mosaics, Explorations and Innovations in Contemporary Dance, which would be a program at Costa Mesa High School for middle and high school students. It would be for Tewinkle students, Estancia, and the sixth graders at Davis. And it's an opportunity to introduce and engage the students with contemporary dance by professional dancers, something that most students have not had any opportunity to experience with a professional company. So Jenny's going to talk a little bit about it.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Just a little bit about the company. We've been around for 21 years here in Orange County. We have a vibrant education and outreach, community outreach component to the company, as well as performances by the professional dancers and professional choreographers in different kinds of theaters. But really integral to our mission is to serve the youth and many different populations with the art of contemporary dance. So it's one of the things we do best, and it's one of the things we love doing. We've been working in Costa Mesa for a while, but this is going to really help us to deepen our engagement with these students, and also, just really, I'm excited about that you guys are the City of the Arts and really deepen the connection with all of the arts, right? Because we know that sometimes dance is maybe not as easily accessible to people. So as somebody who is a champion of dance as a method of change and transformation in people's lives, it's really great to be able to access the students throughout this program. So thank you so much and for your consideration.
So
Thank you.
one other thing I wanted to add is that Backhouse Dance has a strong connection in working with Segerstrom Center for the Arts, and last fall, we were thrilled to be able to perform and create a new work. You want to talk about layering at Orange? Oh, maybe not.
Well, 30 seconds.
You have 30
At
seconds.
the Orange County Museum of Art, we do also do site-specific installations, so we were able to perform on the patio there for the one-year anniversary, and that was really exciting. So not only in schools, but also in interesting areas that you might not normally find contemporary dance. That's very exciting, too. So wrap it all together.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Okay, and please share with us who you are and
Yeah, good evening. My name is Levi Prairie, a lifetime resident of Costa Mesa. I'd like to put on a Mother's Day dance here in Costa Mesa at the Women's Club with my band, the Tonemen. Two of our 5 members are with me. We play jazz and blues and mostly originals, also a lot of old songs you would probably know as well. Anyway, so the Mother's Day dance, how it got started, my mom and I were talking about Mother's Day. I said, we should do something special for you. She's like, I love your band, maybe you can play. I said, yes, maybe in your backyard, but maybe we should do something for the whole community, open it up to the public, all ages, do that type of thing. So I went and talked to Gay Royer at the Women's Club, and she liked the idea, paid the deposit, and we're good to go now. So we have the location, we have the time. Where the arts come into this is obviously the music. We're going to play with another band called Aaron Acapella. We're going to join forces and cumulatively play about 3 hours worth of original and cover music, all with the idea of making people dance and have a good night. Another component of the arts is going to be kind of a glamorous red carpet type concept that I'm going to hire some local artists to paint murals, so that when the moms show up, we're going to have hired photographers to shoot them, upload those to the website. They can go and print out something for the night. Another art component of it is the stage props. We're going to hire some artists to build us a really nice, interesting stage and light it. All these artists are friends of ours that are in the local community that are really talented and totally deserve the position, in my opinion. Another aspect of it that I was... Yeah, so the main thing of this too is to kind of turn the whole night into an artwork, if that makes sense, with the lighting kind of encapsulate a sort of 60s style, think like Back to the Future style dance kind of thing, where everyone's dressed up and dapper and it's welcoming to everybody. And that's the idea. The money is going to go towards paying the artists. I'm sure you see in the budget, but a lot for the lighting and the sound equipment and the materials, and paying the artists for their time as well. So that's our plan. Thank you very much.
it's excellent. Thank you so much. All right, go right ahead, please.
Good evening, commissioners. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Nadine Saeed. I'm here on behalf of the Art Spread. And what we do is we're a local nonprofit here in Orange County, and we lead artists with adversity to success and spread empathy through art. Specifically, with the support of the city of Costa Mesa, we're going to not only enrich the Costa Mesa community with the arts, we're going to instill confidence in our artists. I want to just highlight 2 of many artists that we work with so it gives you a sense of what we'll do. One of our artists, his name is Oscar. He signed with us last year, and Oscar has muscular dystrophy. So he is wheelchair bound, and having events that are accessible to him and giving him the mentorship and support is so important to the Art Spread. And his love and support for what we do is just life-changing. So for example, we mentor him to have the right cohesive collection that's listed in our gallery. We're gonna feature his work among our other artists at the art fair on September 7th. And I provided a flyer along with our business card with a QR code, so you all are absolutely invited to come. It is a family-friendly event, and we're going to feature another artist named Michelle, who is, she was previously homeless and turned to the arts to help her overcome a lot of mental and adversities that she was just facing throughout her life. She turned to the arts to paint her frustration with what she was feeling, and now we've taken her artwork and put it on our gallery, and we're displaying it for the world, so that not only are we instilling confidence in her in what she can do, but we're also transforming the space for the patron. So for example, I'm a very big patron of our artists, and my office at work and my house is filled with just the most deep, enriching, and art, just telling stories. Everyone who walks into my house always asks about each piece. So that's what we're going to do for the Costa Mesa community. Specifically on September 7th at the Norma Herzog Community Center, we're going to have 4 hours of an art fair that's completely free. We're going to have complimentary refreshments, food. We're going to have a workshop so that members of the community can come in and see that with very simple tools, they can create artwork of their own and take that home. We're going to have a licensed therapist as well to talk about how art can shape perception, thought, and emotion, and really transform how we think and feel into a much more positive light for all of us, not just artists. Thank you so much for your time and consideration. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate hearing from all of you.
Can I just ask you a question? So is the art spread a for-profit or non-profit?
Nonprofit.
Non-profit, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions from the commission regarding any of these wonderful opportunities?
Yes, thank you, Chair. First of all, you know, to the artists here and the organizations, you hear a lot about policy and some of the things that aren't as sexy and dry that we talk about, but tonight is really exciting to hear the variety of what's coming ahead of us, and I'm really excited about all of this. I thank those who served on the panel. You did a tremendous job. But a couple specific questions. I don't know if staff can answer this, I assume. For the back house dance, I'm wondering, is transportation provided from the schools to Mesa for the participants? Or is it? Okay, thank you. And a question, Sean, the Jivson Foundation, how long has that been around, and what does it exactly do? If you could explain that, or could you please?
The Gibson Foundation has been around since 2010.
Okay.
It was originally called Future Leaders of Our Community, where we match young professionals with local nonprofits throughout LA, San Diego, and Orange County. In 2018, it switched to become the Gibson Foundation, and it oversees about 20 to 25 fiscal sponsorships a year with different projects in the community that we help run and manage. And one of those projects that we brought on this last year was Songs in the Canyon.
Thank you very much. My next question is for Levi. What time is Mother's Day? I don't know if you said that. I didn't see it. I want to make sure that all the mothers are there.
Yeah, please, I would love for all of you to join us. Mom's getting free. Everyone else is $15. The event begins at 5 and it goes till 9 p.m., which gives us an hour or so afterwards to get out of their hair around 10:30 p.m.
All right, thank you very much. And it's just such a wide variety of support in the community. I hope that staff will be able to support these artists and these events, publicizing them in any way that we possibly can. Thank you.
So we want to thank you all again for joining us, from Nancy and Jennifer from Backhouse Dance, Sean from Gibson Foundation, Levi Prairie, and the Tonemen. Thank you. And also Nadine Saeed, good to see you again, with the Art Spread. So thank you so much for that. And now, since public comments are now closed, can we make a motion to approve the arts grants from our commission?
Sorry, I have another question.
Oh, we have another question.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so Ms. Garner, the amounts that the committee is recommending, can you give any insight into, is that 100% of their request? Is it, what kind of relationship is there between the request amount and then the proposed grant amount?
Yeah, so there's a total amount of points of 30. So based on kind of what each panelist scored, it was kind of given like a percentage to what they originally asked for. So if they got, if they got a 30, we tried to give full, but if they got a little bit under, we just kind of did it a little bit by percentage based on the total score. And there's a rubric that's in the arts grant guidelines as well.
Okay, and the percentages range from 100 to 10, or what's the range?
Yeah, so most of them scored, the lowest was 22 and the highest was, I think, a 28.
Okay.
So then we just tried to kind of gauge with, the numbers, what made sense.
Okay, and we're granting the full amount that's available to be granted?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
The 7,500.
Okay, thank you. I just think that's important to add to the minutes. Thank you.
Excellent question. Any other comments from commissioners? Okay, so go right ahead.
I think it's wonderful to see the variety of community-based programs that you're offering. And I'm really excited to see them come to fruition.
I'm also going to, jump on here. I'm really excited to see all of you. I hope I get to make it to every one of the events. I read all about them, and they all look like so much fun. Doing something in the canyon is so brave. I live near there, and even going down in it, it's hard to have a picnic. You're right, there's no restrooms, it's very difficult. But I think they would love that. Everyone would love to have something like that down there. And I also love the Women's Center, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm a mom of 3, and I like going to places for free. So that is awesome. And I'm a fan of the Backhouse Dance Company, and I really am excited to see the arts spread. This is great. This is very diverse. So I'm really happy about all of the money that's being doled out in the right places.
Absolutely. Okay, so do we have a motion to approve the arts grants?
You may vote on your dais. Motion carries 5-0 to approve the arts grants for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024.
Excellent. Okay, so our next order of business is new business. It's Arts and Culture Master Plan Budget for the fiscal year of 24-25. So I believe we have a staff presentation at this time.
Good evening, Commissioners, Chair. Tonight before you, we just have a brief update on the Arts and Culture Master Plan and what we intend to hopefully receive in the next fiscal year. As you know, our fiscal year ends June 30th and begins again on July 1st, but we are going through the budget process now. I know that you are aware and have received a report on how the Arts and Culture Master Plan was intended to be funded, but just a brief background on that. In 2020, Measure Q was passed by the voters of Costa Mesa, which dedicated 0.5% of the cannabis retail tax to the Arts and Culture Master Plan. Last fiscal year, the revenues weren't quite there from the 0.5%, and the council voted to make the master plan whole with supplementing general fund dollars. And so just a quick thank you to everybody who advocated last budget season. The arts really represented at the last couple meetings towards the end, so appreciate that. So moving forward, the request being asked for would be, according to the master plan, for the 24-25 fiscal year, you'll see in front of you the whole column that's circled, we're asking for everything in full. Things that are not circled or dedicated funding, like example, Smart Camp is actually not part of the Arts and Culture Fund because it was already previously funded in another program, but we included it in there just as an example, but that's already dedicated funding and most likely guaranteed to be rolled over, so. But all the other items that are circled are part of the master plan fund. And so before you, those are the numbers that are being requested, and those are the numbers that will be presented to council for approval. And so on the screen, the master plan, just so you know, Art Venture, we're asking for 30,000. That's 10,000 more than the Arts and Culture Master Plan. That if you attended Art Venture, that became a more elevated event. We changed the structure from it used to be prior 2 days to over a week-long event, so we are looking for more funding for those events. Our galleries and exhibition spaces, we're asking for 400. Free park performances is increasing from the year prior from 24,000 to now 36,000. Art crawl will be 3,000. The free at Segerstrom Center campus, 60,000. Utility box art program, 12,500 again. Funding for our sculpture garden, 60,000. The artist laureate program, which has now been determined to be the Poet Laureate program, this 2,500. And then we have our commission budget and arts grants being increased to 10,000 from the 7,500. So in total, staff requested the operating budget of $222,800. And this is excluding the arts specialist salary in Smart Camp. As I mentioned, Smart Camp is already previously funded, and Laurette's position isn't going anywhere. So that's dedicated funding as well.
Okay, are there any questions from the commission?
I did want to add a little bit to the report. I know that Measure Q revenues have been, a subject that we have kind of talked about. As Monique has mentioned, the revenues have not been coming as projected. As of this moment in time, we are estimating about $10,000 in that Measure Q revenues. So just wanted to make the commission aware, but that doesn't mean that we rely solely on Measure Q revenues. We have other funding sources. General fund, the city council has been serious about its commitment to the arts, and as we did in the last fiscal year, if the shortfalls were to continue, then general fund would help support, or staff would identify other funding sources. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And thank you to the city council for the general fund and believing in the arts, so we appreciate that. Okay, any commissioners that have any comments?
You want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you. I recall that there was a supply issue with the Showmobile that was on a previous year's budget. I was wondering if there was any updates regarding that, or if that has been tabled for the time being.
So the Showmobile has been tabled for currently. We are still evaluating. So the cost in the master plan is well under what an actual Showmobile would be. In addition, that doesn't account for our fleet maintenance that would be required and a replacement schedule. So we're trying to take that all in and weigh the pros and cons. We're reaching out to, there's various cities that have Showmobiles, and some of them have positive feedback and some of them not so much. And so it's a big undertaking for not just our department with the arts, but for our maintenance services and our fleet section too. So we're kind of evaluating that, and when the time and I would say pricing is right, we might bring that back to the commission to evaluate and see if that's something that we would like to pursue in the future.
Great, thank you. I have one more question. Just given the quality of the projects of the grant applicants, I'm wondering if it's possible to increase the budget for that particular item.
So the recommendations for budget that we are bringing forward, talking with our budget team, we do base our recommendations off of the guide here from the master plan, but that doesn't mean that we can't advocate for more. And I think that's a good opportunity, same as last year for arts advocates to, advocate for the things that are relevant and deemed important by you guys for the budget season.
One question and one comment. So the budget this year says that the request is $222,800, and there's a note on the previous page about the city council authorizing the city manager to allocate $469,075 in 2023. To be used over a 3-year period. So can you just clarify that? What was the budget last year? And is that plug funding for the first year and next year? What was the budget last year? How much is the increase? And then I have a follow-up comment.
I can go ahead and explain what the $469,000 that were intended to cover the funding for the 22-23 year, and to make whole the first 2 years, because again, we had revenue shortfalls. Monique, if you want to speak to the other years. What the budget was.
For this year?
For this year. It followed the guideline from 23-24. They made the whole of the 23-24 column whole, so they fully funded. We had asked for more, but they gave us at least the base of what the master plan had called for.
And what was the number?
The number was, we have 408,300. That is a little bit, probably more. The art specialist is included in that column, and that's not an exact number for the salary and benefits section, so, but that's the base.
Okay, I'm just trying to get an apples to apples idea of what the budget request is. So is the budget request absent of the staff position and the, whatever that top line was that was pulled out? How does it compare to last year?
The budget request would be, we have 12,000 more in the free park performances, and where was it? Oh, and what is it, 3,500? Or the 2,500 more in the arts grant section, so.
Okay, so it's a $15,000 increase?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I just think it's really important to be clear on the numbers. Okay, so then another question, which is maybe a larger topic to talk about, which is that the Art and Culture Master Plan predates the formulation of the Arts Commission, and I think that it's worth having a conversation around not necessarily to advocate for an increased budget beyond the $15,000, but where the money is being spent. And I think for me, the most exciting time that I've spent on the Arts Commission was hearing from the grant requesters tonight. And I see that the largest grant went to the Pacific Chorale, who didn't come. And of course, that's a professional organization, and so they got the biggest grant. And I just have a question about whether we might advocate for And I mean, I obviously run the Orange County Museum of Art, so this idea of Costa Mesa free at the Segerstrom Center campus, you know, in my other hat probably benefits my institution. However, you know, I'm really interested in cultivating Costa Mesa as a city of the arts, and the only way that can really happen is if people are creating and making here. So I would really much rather personally see the funding go to individuals rather than really well-funded organizations. I mean, I read on the box here that the Segerstrom Center for the Arts is the largest nonprofit in Orange County. So, you know, for us to be taking city money and putting it somewhere that honestly doesn't need the funding, as opposed to people that are coming and taking their time and advocating for creativity here, you know, again, I'm not trying to throw a big wrench into everything, but I think that is our role here, is to ask some of those questions.
So just to address the free at Segerstrom campus, you know, I hear what you're saying. I think that program was intended more for the residents of Costa Mesa, for the underserved, or the ones who maybe have a little bit more of a hardship, that don't have the means to necessarily go and see a Broadway show at Segerstrom, or go and participate in some of the ticketed programs that sometimes they're priced out of. And it's so that it was supposed to be more for a resident to experience art that typically they wouldn't, you know, it would be beyond their means. And so that program wasn't supposed to be, I don't think it was intended to benefit those programs, just for the ticketed, to bring art to the underprivileged.
Yeah, I totally get it. And that ticket revenue, though, does go to fund the organization. And so I think there are other ways to maybe provide that access to the community. I mean, the city could even make the request of the organization to put a certain amount of unsold tickets, or, you know, there are just ways to, I think, be really arts advocates. And so that's just my opinion.
Any other comments from the commissioners? Commissioner Ashendorf.
Thank you, Chair. First, to underscore what Commissioner Ochoa said about the showmobile and its expense, I think initially the real purpose, it serves several purposes, but one is to bring the arts into the community. And so if we don't have a showmobile anytime in the near future, we do have an opportunity to provide performances, whether they're at T. Winkle Park or other places in our community, so that each district is served through the arts. That is what part of what a showmobile would do. So want to mention that. And when I'm grateful to have $10,000 for arts grants, but does that mean we're going to have 2 allocation periods of $5,000 each? And then that doesn't sound like a lot of money at all. Or is it a one-time grant open call for artists? So I really, really want to also add on to what Vice Chair Zuckerman says. This is where it happens, and it's really up to us to have communication with the city council and let them know that these events are coming to town, and they should see the value in what is being presented to our residents. So I thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Are there any other questions regarding the budget from the commissioners? Okay, and I don't believe there's any members of the public that would like to speak on it at this time. Anyone called in? And Commissioner Ashendorf, did you have another question?
Yes, Chair. I would like clarification from staff as to when the budget hearing does begin, so that we can make our voices be known publicly about the arts during the process.
I believe that we're still working with our finance department to identify the dates. The budget does need to be adopted by June 30th. So I believe that between May, maybe sometime in May, the first hearing will be there. We'll make sure to share that information with you.
Thank you. Okay, Public comments are now closed, and do we have a motion to approve the budget?
It's just a receive and file item, Chair Wonderchuck.
We're going to receive and file this item. Thank you very much. So the next order of business is the Arts and Culture Staff Report.
Before we go ahead and move into the staff report on our updates, I do want to take this time to introduce our new Parks and Community Services Director, Brian Gruner, who's been sitting there patiently. I'm very excited to have Brian join our team, and I've been very grateful for your patience and also for your support towards me and the team during these last 8 months. But super excited for Brian to take on the department, and I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a true pleasure to be here. I'm honored to be selected as the new Parks and Community Services Director here for the City of Costa Mesa. I'm excited to be working with all of you and the other committees and commissions, and of course the City Council, as well as the community. And you know, I think we have a great team, and I'm really excited for the different opportunities, and I'm just kind of learning and taking everything in, and you know, just trying to understand everything and all the different operational aspects here. So, but I'm really looking forward to it, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
We welcome you here, and we're very excited to have you part of the City of the Arts, so thank you. Okay, so can we have a staff presentation at this point over the arts and culture staff?
Thank you, Chair Wonderchuck. Arts and Culture Staff Report. So we have the Poet Laureate Program, which is our new famous program. We currently have one application, but we still have a month. And we can extend it if we need. We can kind of assess after that April 30th date. So we'll continue to post on social media platforms in the coming weeks before the deadline. I know Commissioner Ashendorf has distributed paper flyers to the library and other places, which I really appreciate. I just wanted to say that. I've sent out large email blasts. We have put it in the city newsletter. We will continue, as I mentioned, to do more social media. I have plans to send out more email blasts to the college area too, and try to hit those points. But then I also wanted to share this Costa Mesa Minute that was created to promote this program. So if we don't mind watching this for a minute, I thought you'd all enjoy it. So let me see if I can pull it up. So 1 second.
I think that I shall never see. Wait, a poet laureate is what you can be. Seize the opportunity. Costa Mesa is calling all poets to apply. Artists with words, give it a try. Okay. Do you qualify?
Live or work in Costa Mesa at least a year, 18 years or older, the path is clear. Apply online, now is the time. April 30th is the deadline.
A 2-year term and an honorarium too. Create and inspire, that's what you do.
Our first poet laureate, it shall come true. Costa Mesa is looking for you.
Am I right in thinking that I recognized one of our own here in that video? And also the other partner you had, I believe I saw him at the Costa Mesa Playhouse. Is that correct?
That's
he works
correct.
here as well.
But all credit goes to our Costa Mesa TV people who are extraordinary. That 1 minute took hours.
Well, it's fantastic.
Thank you for watching. I'm so appreciative of Commissioner Ashendorf, and then also Angel Correa. He's a staffer here at the city, the city manager's office. And yes, he's in plays. So he'll be in the show Art at the Costa Mesa Playhouse that Commissioner Ashendorf mentioned earlier. So the next item for the staff report, we have exhibition spaces, some news there. Our next reception will be May 22nd from 6 to 8 at the Senior Center for local artist Jennifer Bloomfield. I'll have some print flyers available for the event sometime probably next week. We're also currently working with the Senior Center staff to extend the hours of the free senior taxi program to accommodate those after hours for all the senior members who would like to attend the reception. And we'll have more information about that hopefully soon. And then another positive thing about the Senior Center space on the second floor, we are trying to open up that space for more walls, for more art. So we've been putting up new hanging systems for I think two new walls. So we'll have more art available at the Senior Center as well. And then also the next exhibition will be a group show of about, I think currently we have 8 artists who are Senior Center members who will be doing a group show. So we're really excited. That'll be September, and we'll probably have a day event for that as well. So, and then the update on Free at Segerstrom Center campus. We are about halfway through this program. We have about 7 more productions to host in the coming months. We have 2 more showings of Prelude to a Kiss with South Coast Repertory, an American Ballet Theater show, a talk hosted by Michael Pollan, and a cabaret performance by Matt Doyle, and those are hosted by Segerstrom Center for the Arts. The city has purchased tickets for those to be distributed. And then we have the LA Chamber with the Philharmonic Society and the Barber of Seville for Kids with Pacific Symphony that we're giving out tickets for as well. And then for public art, some good news for our new mural permit process that you all worked on a few months back. We're currently inputting and doing some editing in our new city software called Tessa. So the online application should be complete by the end of the month, and we hope to present to the Arts Commission in May with an overview of what that looks like. So you all get to kind of see that and see what it looks like on the front end and the back end. So, and that's it for the staff report for April. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lorette. We really appreciate that report and all that's happening here in our city. So at this time, I just wanted to ask if there's any questions from the commission.
Quick question about the exhibition at the Senior Center. Are there any public programs that are done around that? Are there, for example, opportunities for the public to come and hear from the artists?
We currently don't have funding for that, and I do like to pay artists. We've done one workshop in the past as like an experiment, and ideally I would like to do that moving forward, but it's just a matter of finance and funding. Yeah.
Any other questions from the commission?
I have one comment. I'd like everyone to know that those butterflies are doing very well. I go visit them often. They're beautiful, and I haven't seen anybody mess with them yet, so good job.
Wonderful. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak on this item?
Not at this time.
Not at this time, thank you. Okay, I believe at this time we're coming to a close. Are there any comments that the commission would like to make regarding any upcoming events or anything that they would like to share? Okay, thank you. All right, so I believe we can call this meeting to a close and an adjournment. Do I need to have a second for that, or do we just close the meeting? We close the meeting. Thank you so much, and good night.